us off?
Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin Serena's press conference. Let's go to Christopher from usopen.org for the first question for Serena. Christopher, when you see the green light, you are live.
Hey, Serena, well played.
Thank you.
So you now have 102 wins at the U.S. Open after tonight, which is freaking amazing. But I'm writing a piece about players' first wins at the Open. So I wanted to ask you what you remember about way back in 1998, you defeated Nicole Pratt of Australia 6-3, 3-6, 6-4 for your first ever win at the Open.
I remember going lots of 3 sets with Nicole Pratt, but I do not remember that match at all. Yeah, I actually would have never said her of all people that I've played in the first round. Yeah. No recollection.
Fair enough. Do you kind of remember?
I remember playing her in
all your first win and what that felt like.
I remember, ironically, I remember losing to Spurlea that year. I don't remember any other match. That's so Serena, but
Perfect.
yeah. Sorry.
Thank you.
Serena, let's now go to Ben from the New York Times. Ben, you are live with Serena.
Hi, Serena. Hi. I'm wondering for you, at this stage in your career, when you've done so much and a coach tells you you still can improve things, do you always readily accept that? Or do you think like, how can I be doing this wrong? I've been doing so well for my whole career with it. Just what is your sort of openness to suggestions, your stubbornness, and how does that affect you?
I believe I'm open to suggestions. I don't think that I am stubborn, but I think that's a better question for Patrick, because I feel like there might be times where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. And I know there has been some of those times, but for the most part, I try to be super open to suggestions.
And then secondly, I'm curious about the men have come up with this Professional Tennis Players Association that they're starting on the men's side. Djokovic has been spearheading, and you've been involved in WTA Player Council stuff for long stretches of your career. And so I'm curious if you think that some sort of reorganization is necessary, or if you think that the WTA structure in terms of the amount of player input they get works.
I would be really interested to learn more about what everything is about, because I feel like I can't really have an opinion unless I understand more deeply. So I'm obviously always Team Djokovic, but at the same time, I've been on the WTA tour for 30 years, and I know a lot of stuff that's happening there. So I would like to, I can't really comment on that. I do feel like he has some very strong opinions that are often true. So I would have to just wait.
Thank you, Ben. Serena, there's a blue screen to your left. We have a question from Willie from ESPN. You were publicly supportive of the U.S. Open's efforts to stage this tournament. What do you consider most important about this event taking place?
I think what's most important about this event taking place is just the spirit. Sport has been gone for so long, in particular tennis. We missed 2 Grand Slams. And the U.S. Open is the first major tennis event since Australian Open. So it's been really, the morale can be really low in the world with everything that's going on. And so sometimes you just want to take your mind off, and people have been doing that for generations through sport. And I think that's one of the reasons I was so supportive of the U.S. Open, was because I just felt like it's such a good time to just get back out there for athletes and for fans to kind of just disconnect and just be a fan and for athletes do what they do best.
Thank you. Let's now go in front of you. There'll be a screen. Bill from Inside Tennis. Bill, you're up with Serena.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Serena. Greetings and congrats. You said today that in mid-match you had to get your Serena focus back. Talk about what the Serena focus is and how you deal with it, and how you got it back.
I was referring just in general, not in mid-match. I felt like I wanted to be focused from the first point to the last, and I feel like I have been focused, but I've been losing matches on literally 1 point that could swing a match a different way because I've been playing a ton of tight matches. So I felt like, all right, I just wanted to just be Serena focused from the first point to the last point, no matter what happens.
And before you went out there, your former doubles partner, mixed doubles partner and friend, Andy Murray, scored an incredibly gritty, wonderful triumph. Just talk about him for a minute, his grit, his strength. What do you admire in your friend?
Well, usually when you're waiting for a match and someone's down 2 sets, you're like, oh, well, you root for the person that's ahead so you can get on the court and get off. But, I was rooting for Andy the whole time. I really wanted him to win. And gosh, when he was down in that third set, I was like, all right, I just was rooting for him so hard. And then I saw him give the racket to his trainer, and I was like, yeah, there's Andy. He plans on playing 5 sets here. So I was really happy for him. And I love his grit. I've always loved that way before we played doubles. I've always said he reminds me a lot of myself. I'm just a big fan, and it was really good because I know what it's like to be down, and I know what it's like to be injured, and I know what it's like to be counted out. And I felt like it was a real gutsy win for him, and I was really happy.
Thank you, Bill.
All the best to you, Serena.
Thank you.
Let's now go to Craig from Crosscourt. Craig, you're live with Serena.
Serena, after all you've achieved in your career, do some of these records still resonate with you? The fact that there was a 102nd match win at the Open, breaking the tie that you had with Chris Evert. Do those sort of things still mean something to you, or you've done so much, you've broken so many records that they all rolled into one after a while?
Yeah, in a weird way, I feel like every time I come here, it's like I'm being told I broke another record because I felt like I had something last year, or maybe it was a tie for Chris Evert. But it's cool. I don't think I appreciate it enough, which is unfortunate, but I'm in the middle of a Grand Slam, so it's not the time to be focused for me on records when I'm thinking about winning a tournament.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Craig. Serena, if you turn to your left again, we have another written question from Joel Drucker from tennis.com. What made her such a tough opponent, particularly early in the match?
It was just getting the rhythm in the early part of the match. First round is always tough for me, but I think Kristie she really strikes the ball really hard. And she mixes up a lot and she plays a lot of the different shots. So you don't really know what to expect. And I really thought her game was really, really, really good, and to a point where I had to make sure that I was down a break at one point. So I was just really fighting for everything.
Okay, and our final question, again, a written question from Willie from ESPN. What is easiest and what is hardest about the absence of a big crowd atmosphere?
I think the easiest is a little less pressure. And I think the hardest is making sure you stay pumped. But for me, it was clearly easy because I'm always overly passionate, and I love being passionate. It's what I'm best at.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Serena.
Thank you.